Hello and welcome to a Week 7 edition of the EstablishTheRun.com NFL betting show. My name is Adam Levitan, as always joined by Evan Silva, and today we are back to talk sides, talk totals, talk props, etc. Again, I want to be very clear that I do not personally bet sides and totals. It's honestly just for fun. We know people love it. And if I do bet, it's really just to throw the books off the scent as we completely ravage them in props. In other words, maybe our accounts don't get shut down if we give them some action on sides and totals. Prop market is just so soft. Hopefully you've been in our subscriber only Discord where all the prop stuff goes down. Anyways, Evan, how's it going today?
It's going well. I think it is a pretty interesting week. It's obviously a very much reduced week because we have 6 teams on bye. I think that's the most that we'll get all season in an individual week. But, we should have all our bases covered because there's just less to worry about. There's still a lot to worry about, don't get me wrong, but there's less to worry about. So, we can have a little bit more tunnel vision this week.
For sure. Also, for these guys who are watching on YouTube, shout out to me. Look at that background sign that I have now.
That is dope, dude.
Adam Schefter, eat your heart out, bro. Okay, this is what the modern bookshelf looks like. All right,
it's legit.
Gonna keep working on it, but yeah, check it out on YouTube. If you guys are listening, let me know what you think about the sign. Before we get into the show, want to let everyone know about 2 things. New promo we have. I know people, who say they love ETR, they want to subscribe. The price isn't something they can handle. We worked out a deal with BetMGM to help. If you sign up for a new BetMGM account with our promo code, make the first deposit and place a bet, they'll send you a free month at ETR, $65 value on top of the bonus you get for MGM. If you're already an ETR sub, you can still get in on this promo. They'll send you the same coupon. You can use it on a future purchase. Check out the show notes for the link and more info. Second, NBA is off and running. If you are even thinking about playing NBA DFS or betting NBA props, you need help. Dink, Gallagher, and our NBA team can be that help. Check out the products on the NBA subscribe page. All right, Evan, let's get into it here. I survived our head-to-head last week with the Titans pulling it out by the skin of their teeth. Shout out to the home doggies in Island games. But I'll let you go, losers ball. You can go ahead and go first for week. What week are we in? 7. Week 7. Go ahead.
All right. We'll start it off with the game tonight. Denver-Cleveland. 1-point spread in favor of the home Browns. I think that they're in better shape with Case Keenum under center at this point than Baker Mayfield. And, we talked about it a lot on the Tuesday show, how Dan Orlovsky did a pretty nice breakdown of Baker Mayfield, who is really on the Drew Brees spectrum. He's not like a plus scrambling athlete. He doesn't have the biggest arm. He's got a good arm, but he doesn't have the biggest arm. And he needs to be a technician in the pocket, and he needs to be fundamentally sound. And he hasn't been any of those things. And he's also he's been anticipating pressure, which I understand. He's been without his 2 starting tackles. By the way, the Browns are getting back Jedrick Wills in this game. I'm a little bit worried on the other side with an undrafted rookie going up against the Von Miller, but the Browns do play a lot of multiple tight end sets, so he's going to get help out there on the edge, and then Jedrick Wills back. Case Keenum knows Kevin Stefanski's system because Kevin Stefanski was his quarterback's coach in 2017 when Case Keenum had the best season of his career. OBJ was playing injured. I don't think we're going to see him tonight. Maybe we will. But he didn't practice all week. Yeah. Jarvis Landry just came off IR. It looks like he's going to be good to go. I think that's good news. DPJ, Donovan Peoples-Jones, has been really playing at a high level. I think they'll have enough offensively. The Broncos have struggled defensively for their past 3 games and against guys like Ben Roethlisberger, who he had one of his better games of the season against them. Derek Carr just lit him up for 12.6 yards per pass attempt, by far the most yards per pass attempt of any game in Derek Carr's career. Before that, Lamar Jackson. So it's been Lamar Jackson, Ben Roethlisberger, Derek Carr have lit them up over the past 3 weeks defensively. That's supposed to be the strength of their team. Teddy Bridgewater is playing through 2 injuries. I believe it is a foot and a quad. And he took 17 hits and 5 sacks last week against the Raiders, and now he's playing on a short week. So I think the Browns can take care of business here. I know that they're missing a lot. They're still missing a lot of dudes. They've got some dudes coming back, but they're missing a lot of dudes. But as the home favorite, I think that they can beat the one and take care of business. They need this win. And I think the Broncos just aren't a very good team. And especially if they're not going to defend the pass well, because that's supposed to be their roster strength.
Yeah, you can see there's a lot of 2s and 1.5s out there. You can get -1 on DK Sportsbook, and so I think it's a good line. I was shocked that the line moved so much on Baker being out. Like, I think the look ahead line on this was like 7 or 6, and then Baker goes out, and now it's 1. I mean, I agree with Evan that Case Keenum is a downgrade, but I don't think it's a sizable one off the way that Baker was playing whatsoever. And so, yeah, I agree with you. I like this one. I can't believe that the line moves so much on the Baker news. Surprised me for sure. All right. I'm going to try to get on board here with a prop because obviously the sides for me are a disaster. So we're going to go with a prop. One we took this morning in Discord that's actually still up at a reasonable number is DeAndre Swift under 96.5 rushing plus receiving yards. That's where we took it at -110. I believe it's down to 94.5 with a little bit of juice now. I still think it's a bet. We have DeAndre Swift for 81 yards in this game. And so I think what happens a lot is in these closer games, which I'm not sure this one will be, it probably won't be, but still, there's still some percent of the time where Detroit keeps it close. They use Jamal Williams in base. They use Jamal Williams a lot more. Dan Campbell came out today and said these banged up guys, Swift, Hawkinson, they're not practicing. We're going to try to take it easy on them in the game a little bit, so that 96.5, if you're limited at all, you already are sharing role with Jamal Williams. Now you have a chance of being limited by your injury also. So I think it's pretty no-brainer. I took the 96.5. I would also take the 94.5 under DeAndre Swift rush plus receiving here. It's going to take a lot of garbage time, I think, for him to get there. And so I'm happy to bet against that. Evan?
Oh, man. They're going to limit DeAndre Swift? I mean, this is like a great game script for him.
Yeah. Oh, for
this
sure.
This is the kind of game script that he excels at. You really think they're going to limit him?
So that's what Dan Campbell said. But either way, it's just a big number for someone who you're relying on so much for them to get down big early. Because if they somehow keep it close, I mean, Jamal Williams is going to play a ton.
Yeah. All right. I'm going with an over, staying on brand. Philly against the Raiders. Okay. Lane Johnson back for the Eagles. We know about his career splits on and off the field. Lane Johnson has been a difference maker throughout his career, although he hasn't been having that great of a year when he's been healthy this season. But I still think that he's going to be a significant upgrade for them at right tackle. Jordan Mailata, I think, moves back to left tackle, I think. Although Andre Dillard did not play poorly in his place, Jordan Mailata actually had kicked back to right tackle. Either way, they're getting healthier on the offensive line. And that's critical against the Raiders, who can bring pressure, as we just discussed, how many hits and sacks they got on Teddy Bridgewater last week. And then on the other side, I really like what Greg Olsen did in his first game as the Raiders play caller, more than doubling the Raiders play action rate, getting Kenyon Drake involved and using him in space. Josh Jacobs says he's finally over these toe and ankle injuries, although, I'll believe it when I see it because it seems like he's been battling these injuries for like years at this point. But, Derek Carr is playing at a really high level for the most part this season. And so I think that there can be we can get a 30-20 game here. And that's kind of what I'm looking for, over 49 on Philly Raiders.
Yeah, we have Jalen Hurts as one of the best quarterback plays on the slate on DraftKings, where he's a little bit less than Lamar. And I mean, we talked about how consistent Jalen Hurts is from a fantasy perspective. Obviously, there's going to be lower floors from his real life performances, but yeah, I mean, I think he's going to play well, at least from a fantasy perspective here. All right. I'll go with a side here, even though I hate to go with a side. I'm going to go with the Dolphins, and I understand the rest situation between the Dolphins and the Falcons. Dolphins are coming back from London. They didn't get a bye. Falcons came back from London. They got a bye, and now allegedly, they're healthy. They're ready to go. Calvin Ridley's back, et cetera, et cetera. Who are the Falcons to be favored on the road? And I understand that Dolphins home field is not worth very much, but this Falcons team, man, I mean, they're #bad. And so for them to be favored on the road, and we'll see with Will Fuller, we'll see with Devontae Parker, even if those guys can't go, I still don't think the Falcons should be favored on the road. There's always the downside that Matt Ryan is like teetering on the cliff. And so, I think with the state of their defense, with the state of their brokenish running game, I think the Falcons line should be closer to a pick, and you can get +2.5, -105 now. I think that's the best line out there. Actually, +2.5 flat, +100 is the best line right now. And so I'll go ahead and take that as a side.
Yeah, I hate the rest situation, but
yeah.
Forget
about the rest. Who do you think's a better on a neutral field, neutral rest, everything? Who do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to argue against you. I was actually going to. I don't like the rest situation. Period.
Yeah.
But the Dolphins, on defense, like their entire defense is built on their secondary, and when they don't have Byron Jones and they don't have Xavier Howard, I don't know how are they going to get anything done.
Yeah,
I don't know. And those guys have been out, and now they're practicing.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the week, I thought that they were probably, especially Xavier Howard, was probably going to miss another week, but it looks like they both might play. And when Tua has played, I don't think he's been bad. I know he's the butt of a lot of jokes, but I don't think he played poorly in week 1 against New England, and he was pretty good against Jacksonville. This is another soft matchup for him. I think he's done this without Will Fuller and Devontae Parker only in for one of his 2 starts.
Yeah.
And he's got a lot of chemistry with Gesicki. So I hear you on that. I'm going to go with, and I know that this is square. Okay. I know it is, but I don't know why the Packers aren't more than 7.5 point favorites against the football team. The football team is banged up on their offensive line. They have been the get-right matchup every single week for opposing quarterbacks. They bust so many coverages in the secondary, and they're not getting enough up front to help compensate for it. And the Packers are getting healthy on the offensive line, as we talked about on the Tuesday show. David Bakhtiari, I don't know if he's going to play this week, but he's trending in the right direction. Elton Jenkins and Josh Myers are back. Aaron Rodgers crushes at Lambeau historically. MVS has a chance to return this week. I don't know. Do you have a feel yet on MVS?
No, I have not seen anything on MVS.
Okay. So I think the Packers are just way better than the football team at this point. And we both liked the football team before the season, but I think we've come to terms with the fact that they're not very good.
Yeah.
And I think that this should be a 10-point spread, and it's 7.5. And I hate that little hook, but I think they're going to be able to get it done. The Packers.
Yeah. A home favorite, I don't think is that square. And I want to be clear, like these lines are so efficient that like even the quote unquote square side or the wrong side is still going to hit like 48 or 49% of the time. You know what I mean? And so I think people get it twisted. They think like the sharp side is hitting 60, 70, 80% of the time. Believe me, that is not the case. Okay. I'm going to go back to props, man. I got to go back to props. And I can't believe I'm going to get in front of this train. And, our projections don't even like this that much. We have Derrick Henry for 143 rushing plus receiving yards, which is just so absurd. But the line is 148.5 rush plus receiving yards on Derrick Henry. 148.5 is his line. Nothing can go wrong. Nothing can go wrong for Derrick Henry. He can't get nicked up. He can't lose pass down work to McNichols or Darrington Evans if they come back.
He can even get defended well. I swear the Bills defended him well in this last game. They tied him up in the backfield constantly. They were holding him to 1-yard runs, and then he breaks a fucking 76-yarder, and then he runs another one in, and then Micah Hyde, he just reaches into his body and pulls his soul out.
I know. Believe me, I don't want to get in front of this. I'm almost certainly playing him on DK, but my God, 148.5 yards. Like I took the under on Devontae Adams, 99.5 receiving yards last week. And like our projections didn't like it. But like when they put these massive lines in front of me, I can't be a man. What kind of man would I be if I don't take the under on these outrageous lines? And so 148.5, you're just asking for literally nothing to go wrong. And so I am going to be on under. I don't know if we're going to have it as an official play because our projections are really close. Like I said, 143, but I personally am on under Derrick Henry, 148.5 rush plus receiving yards. I could even see that going up. People are so excited about the big dog. I just did this Twitter Spaces thing and someone on there was saying they wanted to take the Derrick Henry overs. And I was like, my God, this could go up. Like it could get above 148.5. I mean, things are getting completely out of control. So we'll see what it gets to. All right. We've said it all. Is that 3? Did you pick 3, Evan?
Yeah.
All right. We've said it all. Thank you guys for tuning in here for this great fun that is the weekly betting show. I'll actually be back on YouTube in just a few hours here to do the showdown breakdown show with Cody as we get set for Teddy Bridgewater versus Case Keenum. If you're not subscribed here on YouTube, please be sure to do so. It is free. We'll be back Friday night behind the paywall for the DFS show with Silva and Wiggins. 4, producer Adam. 4, Evan. For my sign behind me, I am Adam. Good luck, everybody.